councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Guns will be taken, and no one will be able to be armed. We will take all guns.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Global governance at last. Is it one world? The central bankers in charge. But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do?
As for me, give me liberty or give me death!
The answer to 1984 is 1776.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. This is what we have in store for you for this January 9th, 2013 edition.
Tonight, Alex Jones creates a mainstream media firestorm in the wake of his appearance on CNN's Piers Morgan show. Then, Vice President Joe Biden says President Obama is considering taking executive action to restrict the Second Amendment. Plus, a YouTube gun channel boss is found shot dead on a rural Georgia road. That's coming up next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
And welcome back. Now, first of all, this may be your first time watching the InfoWars Nightly News. We've had thousands of people literally join our YouTube site since Monday, not just since then, but especially when Alex was on the Piers Morgan show. Then you can see the YouTube channel right there, nearly 350,000 subscribers, and that's our YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. Take advantage of everything on there, including our side channels. So you know that it's not just the Alex Jones main channel. You also have Alex Jones HD, and if you scroll down, you can see that there's my channel right there, InfoWars Headline HD. All of our various reporters have their own channels. So you can go on there, you can see exclusive content that's not necessarily on our show, not necessarily on the Alex Jones main page, but there's a lot of stuff there, a lot of good stuff. So definitely check that out. And if you want to support us, if you want to see more of what we do, if you want to see our archives, go to prisonplanet.tv. We have a $39.95 new subscription. There it is right there. New membership special for the new year. So all you new fans, all you new listeners, if you want to hear what Alex Jones is talking about, because there's been a lot of talk, Alex Jones, you believe this, Alex Jones, you believe that, you can go right there and find out what Alex believes. And if we can go to the movie section, you guys can check out all of our movies so you can see what we talk about. You can check out Strategic Relocation and all these other films that we have. These things are free. Well, not free. They come with a subscription. There's no additional fee when you get the subscription. And we also have a 15-day free trial. So just check it out. Give it a look. If it's something you like, hey, stay here. You know, if nothing else, check out the YouTube page. And we do welcome all of our new viewers. Top story headline: Biden says Obama to use executive action to restrict Second Amendment. Let's take a look at this article right here. The president is going to act, said Biden. There are executive orders. There's executive action that can be taken. As the president said, if your actions result in only saving one life, they're worth taking. Those are strong words from Mr. Biden, particularly about saving a life, because that interests me very much. For our new viewers, the Obama administration, it's not just Obama, various presidents as well, but they use different things. There are different ways to eliminate people, and a big one of Obama's preference is drones. Now, in Pakistan, for example, this is just one of many examples. The Pakistan Interior Minister says that 80% of people killed by drones in Pakistan were non-combatants, civilians. So which is let's say the guy is exaggerating by a whopping 30%. That would still mean that half the people killed by drones in Pakistan were non-combatants. So Mr. Biden, I definitely think if that's an action worth taking to eliminate drone deaths, definitely unnecessary deaths there. But not to get away of the gun issue, we have plenty of talk on that, and we'll get into that. So let's move on to our next article. Alex Jones may be the king of conspiracy. No surprise. This is from CNN. Now, this has highlights such as Alex Jones espouses conspiracy theories. He says he believes that bankers want to have some type of dominion, and he also supported the Branch Davidian Church. Now, that last one is a half-truth. Yes, he did support them to an extent. He helped them rebuild their facility after the Waco incident back in 1993. Alex Jones and some other good Samaritans went out to help them rebuild their compound. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm a Christian, but if my Muslim neighbor is starving, I'll give him something to eat. So I don't see any reason why Alex Jones can't support something like the Branch Davidians to help them have some place to live. What's wrong with that? But the spin doctor's hard at work at CNN, and we got plenty more articles. And once again, if you want to see what Alex Jones really thinks, if you want to see what we think, check out the YouTube channels. Many of the videos are there, and all the stuff is on prisonplanet.tv. Next story. Alex Jones challenges Piers Morgan to moderated debate. Now, this is something I really would like to see happen. If we can go to that graphic right there. Media focus following the initial face-off on CNN has predictably been centered around Jones's aggressive rant on the Second Amendment, with virtually zero attention paid to the facts brought up by both Jones and Morgan. Yes, Morgan did have a few facts. Alex got a few factoids wrong. And as we'll talk about here in a little bit, even some of Piers Morgan's facts were wrong. Well, the few he was able to squeak out. But yes, Alex Jones has challenged them to a moderated debate. I'm sure it would be on CNN. I'm sure they have one of their hosts or somebody who's in bed with them moderated. I seriously doubt you'll see me or Rob Dew or somebody else moderating this debate. But definitely exciting. I definitely hope Piers will accept his invitation. And I'd like to say to Piers and all those at CNN, if you want to see, well, not just a debate, but if you want to see Alex Jones with Piers Morgan again, Piers, why don't you come down here to Texas? Interviews are bigger in Texas, just like everything else. Bring you down here, give you some good barbecue, let you pop off a few rounds from a 223. We may be able to dig out the old 50 cal and head out to the range. So come on down to Texas and have yourself a time, Mr. Morgan. Next story. Piers Morgan and guests discuss shooting Alex Jones. Well, maybe you shouldn't book your plane ticket just yet, Piers. Now, this came about somebody by the name of Buzz Bissinger. I believe he's a sports columnist for the Daily Beast. Said he wants to challenge, he said that Piers should challenge Alex Jones to a boxing match, show up with a semi-automatic rifle that you can get legally and pop him. That's a direct quote. And you can see all the people having good laughs about the issue. All these people who think that you shouldn't have a gun, or at least this type of weapon, but they are very amused at the thought of somebody being shot with one. Well, at least, well, maybe not the lady in the red. She looks pretty serious. But anyway, laughing girl on the end, she's having a good old time fantasizing about somebody being shot with a .223 round. And actually, we have a video of Aaron Dykes breaking down this situation, so let's look at that video now.
Aaron Dykes here for Infowars.com. This gun control debate is reaching dangerous proportions. Last night, Alex Jones debated Piers Morgan on CNN. Tonight, all they can do is talk about the reaction, and on Piers Morgan's program, they talk about they hope Alex's children don't die. Now, Alex was sitting at home with his family and children. They were freaked out and terrorized by those comments, but the program went on to even more outrageous points. Buzz Bissinger, a sports columnist for the Daily Beast, chimed in and said that he thinks the only reason for a semi-automatic weapon is so that Piers Morgan can go in the ring and, quote, pop Alex Jones with that weapon. And then all the guests go on to laugh about it.
I don't care what the justification is, that you're allowed in this country to own a semi-automatic weapon, much less a handgun. But what do you need a semi-automatic weapon for. The only reason I think you need it is, Pierce, challenge Alex Jones to a boxing match, show up with a semi-automatic that you got legally, and pop him.
I'd love to see that. In uniform.
I'll borrow my brother's uniform.
Now, without a doubt, this was a veiled threat. But just imagine if Alex Jones or anyone else made these comments, they'd be arrested immediately, and yet here they are saying them with impunity. Remember, there's been threats against NRA board members, you name it, in the past. These authoritarians don't want peace, they want control, and they're showing it here. Get this out immediately. Signing off for Infowars.com.
So there you saw the full clip for yourself. I mean, there's just a piece out of the broadcast, but you can watch the whole broadcast. I'm sure many people have it different places. But yeah, it's all fun and games, and we've seen this with the NRA after the Sandy Hook shooting. People made jokes, well, not necessarily jokes. Some people made what I believe legitimate threats against the lives of the NRA, and not only the NRA, but their children. So the people who say we shouldn't have these guns because we might hurt somebody or ourselves are just going to take the matter all out of our hands and just shoot us with these guns. But I don't think Alex has too much to worry about, because I'm sure these people don't have such a weapon. And, you know, with recent gun sales, you can't go out and buy it. An AR-15, those things are gone. And I think even Bushmaster's like 6 months backed up. But that's what they do. I can't have a gun, but they'll shoot me with it. Let's move on to our next topic. Now, there's a lot of things going on in the news media. Several, we've seen Piers Morgan. This particular one about Jon Stewart. So I'll let Mr. Stewart speak for himself, so let's look at that clip.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
Holy no one's taking away all the guns.
Now, I did have to laugh at that because he did have a good reaction, but my concern is the people who just may watch Jon Stewart and may not be adept of other issues in the world think that's a real argument. And I hate to get on here and call out guys like Jon Stewart, guys like Bob Costas a few weeks ago, because these are guys I've watched for years and I respect their work. But you have to, you know, call a spade a spade. He's saying nobody wants to take your guns. In presidential debates with Mitt Romney, Barack Obama admitted he wants to take your guns. Sinister, that may be more accurate, Dianne Feinstein admits she wants to take your gun. This Illinois Senate, twice in 1 week, I believe, even on a Sunday, came in and tried to take people's guns. Not just high-capacity, quote, assault rifles. They're not even assault rifles because that's a fully automatic rifle, but also things as simple as pump-action shotguns. That's right. I don't know if that thing scrolls down or not, but they say they want to take your pump-action shotguns in Illinois. People, now there it is. I see it right there. Just go back up. Go back just a little bit. I see it in the middle of the screen. Yes, it's near the picture. I see the word pump action. But anyway, you can see it all right there. We have many other lists. We have done many other articles about it. So Mr. Stewart, and Jon Stewart's a smart guy. He's not dumb. He's politically savvy, socially savvy. So the only thing I can come out with is he's just trying to disinform people. And once again, I hate to call people out like that, but that's how I see it. The guy's a smart guy. He knows what's going on in the world. And so those are just a few. Dianne Feinstein, Barack Obama, the Illinois Senate. They are trying to take your guns. We talked about it right here, InfoWars magazine. He wants to take your guns. This man wants your guns. I believe we are sold out of this issue. You may still get it if you have a subscription. But other than that, I think we are out of it. But in here, just pages and pages of why this man wants your guns, how he plans to get them. And this is before, well, the writing at least was done before the Sandy Hook massacre. So, yeah, we are on record saying that that man wants your guns. He definitely does. So, Mr. Stewart, please inform people properly. Next story. Now, this is from Salon. This is another in a scene of trendy publications, websites saying that you should turn in your guns and you're crazy if you don't want to give up your rights and all these things. But this particular article is titled, Alex Jones Brings the Crazy to Piers Morgan. Now, the article starts out talking about how Alex refused to take off his shoes at the airport, which is something many people do. They don't like the harassment at the airport. They don't want to take off their shoes. They opt out of the, they don't want to be patted down. They don't want to go through the scanner. Even myself, going through the airport, I opt out of the body scanner and I have to get patted down. Now, this is my real life situation. And we all know when you go to the airport, you're supposed to take off your belt. Well, I don't wear skinny jeans, so when I get up and I take off my belt and I do this, my pants fall down, and the TSA screener gets mad at me because my pants fall down. Now, I don't sag, I don't wear big, baggy jeans, but, skinny jeans aren't my scene, so my pants have a little bit of give to them, and it's stuff like that. So I don't like taking off my belt. He doesn't like taking off his shoes, but, I guess this guy thought it was something worthy to bring up. But anyway, this article goes on to say they have a transcript from Real Clear Politics, and there's 5 points, I believe, listed here. There are 2 that I'll address here briefly, and the guy talks about these are the craziest highlights of the Piers Morgan interview. So I'll look at this first one. Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, you name it, brag that they are going to get our guns. And it goes on to there to list factual things such as the U.S. government buying 1.6 billion bullets. Even Glenn Beck has talked about that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predator drones that are armed and being used to arrest people in North Dakota. Now, I'm sure these are things you're not used to hearing on your mainstream networks such as CNN, but these things are all real, all factual. Infowars.com. You can find something for everything listed here, especially the bullets. We talk about this all the time. Now, our second one, the Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. Oh, I'm blocking the camera here. This is true as well. Many people think that the Second Amendment is just for duck hunting or, going out and shooting watermelons and different things like that. This is actually a printout. I couldn't print the Salon page to my specifications, but this is accurate. What's taken here is taken verbatim from the page. So people say you have no right to defend yourself. And it says here, this is a quote from Alex Jones, it's there to protect us from a tyrannical government and street thugs, which it is. Also, I mean, that is a worst case scenario that you may have to fight your own gun. That's worst case scenario. But ultimately, it is there for that reason. It's not just to keep a gun locked in your cabinet in your house. It's to protect yourself from street thugs and also from a tyrannical government. So that is accurate. So the author of this piece, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. And there are some other things he talks about, Alex Jones, when he made the comment about chimpanzees dancing on a pin or whatever it was. But anyway, the stuff he did talk about was factual and accurate. So it's just another piece of trendy propaganda. And here's another one. This out of Christian Science Monitor. Now, I have nothing against the organization itself, but they have this article, Piers Morgan versus Alex Jones on gun control. Who won wild debate? Now, this is a horribly mistitled article, from my opinion. The article spends most of its time talking about how the Alex Jones petition to have Piers Morgan deported for coming against the Second Amendment. Now, Piers Morgan came out and said, doesn't he have a right to freedom of speech? And I don't have a problem with Piers Morgan's freedom of speech, but as a British citizen, he's not protected under the Bill of Rights. And I did sign the petition to deport Piers Morgan, and I want to tell you exactly why here on record. Initially, I wasn't too keen on it. I mean, I had no problem with other people signing it, but, at first I was somewhat ignorant of the fact that, as a British citizen, the First Amendment did not apply to him. But it went a step further when Piers Morgan sent out a tweet, and I believe this was in the petition's infancy. And he said, 3,000 people, I think that's what the count was at the time, 3,000 people want me deported for my beliefs. That means everybody else in America wants me to stay. Now, I'm not trying to kick Piers Morgan out. I'm not trying to, throw him out like on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But I didn't want Piers Morgan to be mistaken into thinking that I wanted him here. Once again, I'm not telling him he has to get out, but I don't want him to think I want him here. So I signed a petition to say, hey, I'm not saying I want you here. You can stay if you want, but I'm not asking for your appearance. And it goes on to talk about Alex Jones. He's ranting about this or that. They don't really back up anything with factual information. They just take his quotes and don't really explain his beliefs. But like I said, we have many new viewers, so you can go look all this stuff up. The Alex Jones YouTube page and also Infowars.com. And hopefully we won't see too many. Well, I'm sure we will see more, but nothing prominent like on the page of Yahoo like this particular article was. Now, plenty of disinformation out there, but I don't say one guy, but one guy prominently is Mr. Ben Swann, and he has an article here. Ben Swann destroys Piers Morgan's anti-gun argument. Now, as I said, Alex Jones and Piers Morgan both threw out some factual information. Alex Jones may have been wrong, as far as certain numbers of people, and Piers Morgan was as well. But Mr. Ben Swann breaks it down, both sides' arguments, and tells you that Britain is not as safe as people think it is. As Alex Jones pointed out, yes, they have less gun violence because they have less guns. Just like if you live in a small town, you probably have less car wrecks because you have small cars. But Mr. Swann breaks this down quite nicely, so let's take a look at this, and you can see, I guess, somebody impartial, what they think about it. So let's take a look.
Last night on CNN's Piers Morgan Tonight, Morgan interviewed radio host Alex Jones. And to say it was wild, well, that would be an understatement. The U.S., despite being #1 in gun ownership, is number 28 in gun homicide. EU named Britain as the most violent country in the EU. What we might learn is that violent crime is not the result of a gun or any tool. It is the result of the heart of men and women.
So there you go. And it's a longer video, and I definitely suggest you guys go watch the full thing. We just played a clip here for time constraints, but it's very accurate. It's very good. So you can see these facts and judge them for yourself. Alex Jones wasn't 100% right, but neither was Piers Morgan. As we keep pointing out, people who talk about the interview, they don't want to talk about the factual information that was put out. They just want to talk about Alex Jones freaking out and, yelling and stuff, which he does on his normal show. So I don't know why people acting, oh my gosh.